I miss my room. Hey, you guys, it is MTR, also known as Matt the Rat, from Comics After Dark podcast at Rathaus, RATTHAUS.net. And I'm here to talk to you about new comic book day comic books, of course. I read Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77, the extra-sized anniversary special of The Flash, and of course, one of my favorite comics, TMNT. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this. All right, you guys, first up is Batman 66, rest in peace, Adam West, and Wonder Woman 77, 6 of 6. Yes, this is a mini-series. Creative team behind this is Parker and Draco, Han, Williams, and more. There was like a laundry list of writers and artists, I kid you not. Getting into the comic, it starts off with Roz trying to take over Catwoman's club, and everything's going down. From there, Catwoman actually jumps in and like, you know what? I'm gonna side with Batman this time around because Roz, you're messing up my club. Of course, Roz flees to his new headquarters, which is at Arkham. And from there, they get a huge team and they call a little backup. So at this moment, it's Wonder Woman, retired Batman, I might actually remember, Batman 66, 77, 10-year gap, Nightwing, and Batgirl with Catwoman. They go into Arkham, they start trying to mess people up, trying to take on Roz's nice little henchmen, and of course Batman needs to go to take on Roz. From there, Batman tries to stop Roz from jumping into Lazarus Pit. Unfortunately fails because everybody's wearing gloves, and for some odd reason, I don't know why. Why does everybody have to wear gloves, especially during this time? Nonetheless, when Batman goes to grab Roz, he slips into the Lazarus Pit, and Roz comes out as a 10-year-old. And from there, they take him away, and that starts the friendship between Batman and Wonder Woman trying to stop Roz. And it's funny because it actually ends with the beginning. So with that being said, let's put a pin in the beginning and get into the art. The art was great. It did what it was supposed to do. It made me feel like I was watching the old TV show. A little bit leaning more towards the Linda Carter Wonder Woman rather than the Batman 66, but it did its job. Everything was nice. It was consistent. If you're a fan of the TV shows, you're gonna love the way that this looks. Now, let's get into writing. Writing, it was okay for me, and Draco is very hit or miss for a lot of people. A lot of people either love him or they hate him. There's no middle, except for me. Felt a little neutral about it. It did things that I wouldn't choose some of the characters to do. Perfect example was it tried to go into Nightwing doing a Jiminy Jillikers, and at this point, Nightwing's Nightwing. He's already separated himself from Batman, so that's something you wouldn't see him do. But other than the few gripes that I've had in that, it was a solid comic. If you're a huge fan of Batman 66, if you're a huge fan of Wonder Woman 77, this is the comic for you. Do I suggest picking up the last issue? No, but I do suggest making sure that you get that graphic novel in your pull list. So you guys, next up is the extra size annual special of The Flash. This is issue 25, and this is the beginning of the story arc called Running Scared Part 1. Creative team behind this is Williamson, D. Jean Don Mencia, just want to make sure I pronounce that right, Sook, and Goose. Now, this is a huge issue, like I said, and the beginning half of this actually explains the history of Eobard Thawne and Barry Allen. From there, it goes into everything that has happened between them, and I mean everything, up to the point of where we're at now, which is when Eobard Thawne goes into the past, steals Iris, brings him into the future, and when Flash comes, it is an alternate future. And now it explains the new history of Eobard Thawne and Barry Allen. And this future, this specific one, they are partners in it. And Eobard Thawne has become even stronger than Barry Allen. So that is where it ends. What I will say is art is beautiful. I loved it. It did everything it was supposed to do. It made the Flash extremely light bright, and it made everything behind Eobard Thawne just a little dark. It did its job, and it was beautiful and easy on the eyes to see. I love the art, couldn't praise it more. Writing was very interesting. What I will say is it's girthy. It's a comic book that has a lot of history being explained. Not too much action, but just showing parts where Barry Allen and Reverse Flash are running together, while when they fought, it's really more like them jumping towards each other and about to hit each other and explaining a lot of history. Nonetheless, this is necessary for the beginning of the story arc. They are setting up. So, if you're expecting a lot of action, it's not going to be there. Nonetheless, though, this is a very interesting story arc that might even change the future of The Flash. Do I suggest picking this up? Yes, especially if you've been interested in The Flash. This is the beginning of the story arc. This is a perfect jumping on point, especially if you're curious about the feud between Reverse Flash and The Flash. So go ahead, make sure to get this on your pull list right now. Last but not least, one of my favorite comics, TMNT number 71, written and drawn by Eastman, Waltz, Watcher, and Pattison. Now, this starts off with Toad Baron's party, and he's inviting all of his siblings over. I'm talking Kinsu, I'm talking Rat King, everybody that is within their family, and they all go into their origins. From there, the youngest sibling explains, I want to bring back Dad. All I know is the dad is called the Dragon. I don't know who that is. And then randomly after that, rats start floating in the air. Rat King's like, what's going on here? Do you guys know something new? And apparently it's a failed attempt at TMNT trying to infiltrate the party. Now, art. I will say that I'm used to a different art with this. It feels like there's a different creative team on this. Either that or they're trying to set a mood that I didn't really care for through this specific comic. Like I said, this is one of my favorite comics. I love consistency, and it felt like this was just a little slightly off. But it did explain what it needed to explain through the art, so I appreciate that. It just fell a little below than what I'm used to. Writing, it was dense. This is setting up for something that I really didn't care for much. I really didn't want to know everyone's origin story. I really just wanted to see some action, and unfortunately, this comic was actionless. Usually TMNT is full of it, the fighting, the ninjas jumping. It's what you read TMNT for, and it didn't have it. All it had was everybody explaining how they came to be. So, was this a miss? Yes, but it is necessary to explain all this because they are setting up for a future story. Do I suggest picking this up? I do, but understand that you are not going to get action in this. You're getting something to set you up for what's gonna happen, which I'm gonna guess something huge by issue 75. Once again, you guys, I'm MTR, also known as Matt the Rat. You can find me at Comics After Dark Podcast at RATTHAUS.net. For all your comic book reviews, news, and everything between, go ahead and go to thathashtagshow.com. Especially follow us on social media under that hashtag show. Go ahead and click subscribe somewhere down beneath me. I know it's somewhere down there. Just go ahead and click that. And of course, tell me what comic books you guys read in the comments. And tell me, did you agree with my reviews or not? I don't mind. You could be mad at me. I just want to know. Till next time, you guys. Later.